Hey there guys, welcome to another one of my videos, and in this one I just wanted to go over being a Jehovah's Witnesses, well formerly now of course, what I lost versus what I've gained from all those experiences and my time as a witness to my life now. So, first of all, please like and subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, I would appreciate it. And I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to start with the things that I lost. You would start with guilt. Just worried that you're never good enough, you're not, as a witness, you're not really measured on a spiritual level. It's more of just your works, what you can give to the organization, time, money, and it's gotta get to all the meetings, gotta get out in service. I know I would say is a secret for a lot of witnesses that they would never admit to at the door. I would say they preach because they don't want to be found blood guilty, and they have to do it to keep themselves in good standing, not really because that's what they really want to be doing. But the guilt. Now here's something I'm happy to have lost. I think, and you're going to see most of what I lost, I'm better off. Next one, conditional love. Oh yeah, the fake friendships, lots of judgment. Oh, I remember, make sure you only hang out and associate with spiritually strong witnesses. You don't want to be hanging around the spiritually weak or inactive ones. Well, only to encourage the inactive ones sometimes. But, see, it's based more on your spirituality and than what your real personality is. And of course, they're not allowed to drink or, lots of kind of fun they're not allowed to have, but just, conditional love. I found even just a lot of the elders were definitely more business-like than loving shepherds, really. All the years I was in, sometimes, yes, I do get, mad and sad at the same time. It's all those years I was in there, and not a complete waste. It was nice people. I did gain Bible knowledge, some of it accurate, some of it not, of course, but I'm not going to say my whole time in there was horrible, but yes, I wish I had. I wish I had left sooner. A very common thing out of a lot of ex-witnesses, yes. Myself included, yes, I wish I had woke up and was able to leave sooner. So, happy to get rid of that one. Next one. The fear. Ooh. I think a big one that a lot of us are happy to get rid of, the fear of messing up, we know we're all imperfect, but you can't mess up. You gotta be careful of every word and action, how you dress, everything entertainment-wise. And just you're always afraid and nervous about this Armageddon that's always so close, yet never seems to come. And you know what? Holding shame on Watchtower and the governing body, holding people in by using fear is not the right way. That's not godly love. Another one, the manipulation. Oh yeah. I think just, again, you have to read only their Bible, and they themselves, the governing body, they don't like to admit when they're wrong, or they'll continue to deny it, changing the scriptures to fit their beliefs. So even how they do in a lot of their articles, they'll take a quote from somebody, but they'll take parts out of it. It's really just to make it fit their beliefs. Like, the JW doctrines are all fucked up. And we're all individuals. Not all of us are meant to be public speakers and, the preaching or sales, selling stuff, basically, a form of. It's, and just because I don't want to do that doesn't mean I'm spiritually weak. I got that a lot because I didn't like to, give talks. I didn't like to get up on the platform a lot as a witness, so instead of understanding that, I was just nervous, it's not an area that I shine in, no, she's spiritually weak. So yeah, I'm just, oh man, you're always under a microscope. And and the other manipulation, you gotta believe what they teach, unquestioned loyalty, do not question us. That's not how it should be. So I'm happy to get rid of that. Next one, biased view of the outside world. As a witness, you look at the outside world through black and white lenses, and us versus them mentality. And as a result, a lot of witnesses basically isolate themselves from the outside world most of the time, aside from education and working, which is really not healthy. It can also create trust issues or socially interactions with anybody who is not a witness. Like, this really screws up people inside. And it's, as I've said lots of times in the past too, because I love saying it, if they were honest at the doors, the witnesses, they would really say, "Hi, would you like to join our cult or die?" Because that is basically what they teach. They'll never admit it, but that's what they teach. For a Jehovah's Witness, anybody who's not a member of their group is going to die at Armageddon. And they view, basically they're unfit to, even be alive, although I think a lot are good at, putting on the fake smiles and the fake friendliness, but their real view of the world is actually quite dark and harsh, and it's just not right. So that needs to go. Next one, obligation. Oh man. Oh god, the pressure, the expectations. Not only are witnesses expected to attend all the meetings, they have to comment, go out in service, even donations. Man, they're always crying for money. Attentions and conventions, there's always a deficit. And just again, how many preach because they really want to be preaching? Me, not that I didn't want to share my JW beliefs with people, I'd rather just mail them a letter as a witness. That was just me. But obligation, it's just, so much expectations, and then yet you never really get a lot of gratitude or appreciation. Nope, they just, jump, and expect you to jump. They say jump, the witness is basically supposed to say how high. And if you're not, you're spiritually weak or failing. And it's, I think the Zoom meetings for a couple of years has showed a lot of witnesses that they liked that better than going to meetings in person, and I don't blame them. And there's another thing I'm happy to lose and shed. And the last one for things that I've lost from being a witness, the false prophecies. Watchtower should really be embarrassed with themselves. You know, they're a doomsday cult, even back to the 1800s. They kept predicting doomsday and failing. 1914, 1925, 1975. They even bought a house for the three prophets that they thought were going to come back on a certain date, so of course they never did. I'm like, oh yeah, it's and it's keeping people waiting and fulfilling and living out their lives, and it's like all for nothing. Is this end that never seems to come. That's just, and it's right in the Bible, Watchtower. You are false prophets. If you predict and it doesn't come to pass, you're false prophets. So that's it for everything I've lost, and now I want to go through everything I've gained since leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses. So the first thing, faith. My Bible knowledge and understanding of God and Jesus has gotten so much better, so much healthier nowadays. And I'm continuing to build on it, and it makes me happy. You know, this is a word that you rarely hear with Jehovah's Witnesses, the word faith. Since leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm learning what real faith is. Next one, true happiness. You know, I'm no longer in fear of Armageddon. I'm no longer under a microscope and expected to go to all these meetings and conventions and out in service. I can do what I want. I'm even more free to dress in certain ways that I want. And, you know, even rocking a little hairstyle that I could never have had as a witness, to name one small thing. So I've done stuff now that I never did as a witness, and I'm getting more enjoyment out of it. I really am. Another thing, real friendships. You know, just the fact that I've got to be shunned at all costs and ignored by my former Jehovah's Witnesses friends really says a lot more about them than it does about me and the high control that they're under. That's just wrong. Just because I woke up and realized the real truth, and yeah, it just goes to show what Jehovah's Witnesses are really like, that they don't want the world to see. But now I have real, better friendships, healthier friendships, a lot more meaningful friendships. Another thing, hope. You know, with the Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't really have a sure hope for the future. They don't even, they say they do, but they're always awaiting this new world that just never seems to come. Like, they're always sitting in wait. And plus, they don't even know if they're going to make it into that new system. Like, whether they'll, so it's ultimately just no real hope. Whereas since I've left, I've found just real hope. Another one, critical thinking. You know, it was finally allowing the critical thinking to really start to turn on in my brain and build is what helped me leave to the Jehovah's Witnesses. And yeah, and I think back now and man, like, I should have realized a long time ago, if you can't ask questions, then something's wrong. Then something is not right if you're not allowed to question. The really good example how the witnesses say you're only to use their website. Do not Google Jehovah's Witnesses. Don't look at any outside research. And that's just stupid. Because by telling their members that, they're trying to say that everything outside of their website is inaccurate and false and made up, you know. It's just Satan trying to get you out, and it's just wrong. And it's false. A lot of outside sources are telling the truth. Watchtower just doesn't like it because it puts it in a bad light. And that's what the real truth is. Critical thinking is a good thing. Is an excellent thing. It is an important skill that everyone should have. Next one. My freedom. And not to be a sinner, no, I just mean freedom of being held in a high control cult. You know, I'm just freedom, and I think I say it more in a spiritual sense. I would say definitely it's the sense of freedom I have of just, it's like a bird that never even realized that they were in a cage that was locked because they were right at the window, so they saw the sky and the outside world, you know, always looking out, but now it's open and I am free. I learned how to unlock that cage and get out and experience real freedom and how life should really be. Next one, healthy view of the outside world. You know, that is, yeah, well, I've always known what the world is really like in the sense that I wasn't raised as a witness, but I was held under, like, had that fog and the black and white lenses put over me as a witness that, you know, you don't trust anybody in the world, you minimize any interactions with the outside world, and, you know, basically stay at home as much as possible, really, to avoid interactions. But it's like I knew deep down, and I want any current witnesses to know that, you know, not everybody outside of Jehovah's Witnesses is bad and evil and corrupt. There's a lot of good people out there. The way Jehovah's Witnesses view the outside world is very unhealthy. So once you're out, you're gonna and realize just how so much of what they say is not true. You're gonna gain a much healthier world view of what the outside world is like. And the last one, accurate Bible knowledge, is something I've gained, which I appreciate. You know, I get kind of mad at myself nowadays, but essentially the reason I started studying with witnesses in the first place was because I had basically no knowledge of the Bible prior. And in the long run, it was kind of foolish, but you know, I made the decision and I ended up joining. But it, you know, the term I like to use for myself even now is just, yeah, young and stupid. Yep. young and stupid. But, you know, at least the fact that I woke up and got out of there is the more important thing. And I always found it kind of odd that they always really emphasize and like it has to be only their New World Translation of the Bible, not really any other Bible translations. And that should be a red flag, really. Because that means not necessarily that all the other translations are wrong. That means the New World Translation has been changed to fit their beliefs. That's why that's the only Bible that they approved. If you want to tell the truth about what the Bible really teaches, the answer is not making up your own translation. Because that's just a blatant red flag that what you're teaching is wrong if you have to change it. So nowadays I've got other Bibles and it's a learning process because I'm still gotta, just scrape away and dissolve all the old JW Bible doctrine and get it straightened out. But it's a working progress and something that I've been happy to continue my working on. So, those are just examples of my losses versus my gains from being a Jehovah's Witness that I just want to share. I lost a lot of bad, more negative traits, really, and I've gained a lot of positive things since leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses. And that is for sure. I'm a much more healthier, spiritually rounded person now, definitely, and much happier. I really must add, definitely. Yes, leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses is worth it in the long run. As you're not doing anything bad, you're only doing something that's going to benefit you in the long run. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.